always happy to come here in Vancouver. Thanks for the VRIC organization. So I'll be doing some forward-looking statement. Let me talk to you about Vior Gold Corporation. We joined Vior last year, a year ago actually, and we had the flagship project that was called Belter. We drilled the head out of it last year. We're just finishing off the program in the first quarter of this year. The idea there was to test underneath a former mine. We did last year, and the results showed that the extension at depth was there, but unfortunately the thickness was not there. So this year we're pivoting towards the project called Ligneris, which is a gold-rich VMS. So let me talk to you a bit about Ligneris, and I'll come back later about Belter. So Ligneris was found in the 80s by Vior, which was newly formed back then. Yes, Vior has been existing for 40 years. So it's pretty rare in that market that a junior survived that long. But nevertheless, so the Ligneris project is located 150 kilometers north of Val-d'Or, nearby the town of Amos. And it hosts both orogenic gold and polymetallic gold VMS deposit. VMS is volcanic massive sulfides. And when we joined, we know that project was on the shelf in the company, and that required a lot of capital in order to explore it. Well, let me just refresh your memory for those of you who remember that the discovery that was done was 13.5 grams over 10 meters back in the 80s. Discovery made by Vior that at that time optioned the project to Placer Dome. They drilled roughly 30,000 meters, shallow holes, and that was it. They pulled off, and as some of you may know, Placer Dome refocused their activities of exploration in South America, chasing large porphyry deposits. But nevertheless, when we joined Vior, we look at the data, we put 3D model in place, and looking at that type of deposit. And we got really excited, I have to say. When you look at those grades, there's high grade, there's super high grade, but there's also wide interval of low grade. And we were like, okay, let's put the data together. So we did. You can see two long sections there. And the first thing you witness is over the length of 1.5 kilometers, it has been explored, but just the first 250 meters. And everything is open laterally and at depth. And we were like, okay, with that current gold price, that would be quite easy to build tons there. So that's why we started in January of this year with 2 rigs. We're adding a third one at the end of this month, and we're going to drill the heck out of it. But why we are excited, it's because those type of deposit, VMS, gold-rich, usually in the Archean in Ontario or Quebec, you would look at VMS most like base metals. Only a few deposits carry gold in terms of VMS in Eastern Canada. But when you hit those type of deposit, you can have basically a cornerstone asset. And the reason why I'm saying that is basically because of this one here. So that one, it just show you the long section of Doyon Bousquet-Laronde camp. Laronde is the mine owned by Agnico Eagle, and that was the cornerstone asset of Agnico. Agnico is what it is today because of that specific deposit that you can see there in red, green, and blue. The discovery that they did back in the days was 900 meter vertical, and they're still mining it today down to 3.5 kilometers with significant gold grade, but also byproduct in zinc, silver, etc. I put a rectangle in red that just show you what has been explored at Ligneris. So it shows you scale to size what you can think about when you think about those type of deposits. And when you find generally those type of deposits, you'll find additional ones because they usually come in clusters. And that's the way they form. Mother Nature, when you think about VMS deposit, you can picture black smokers on the seabed, and they come along a structure, and that's how they form generally. It's more complex than that, but that's usually how they're generated. And my point is, when you look on that long section, it's 12 kilometers long. It produced more than 30 million ounces over the last 60, 70 years. And if you look at that, there's at least 3 VMS deposits, the Bousquet 1, Bousquet 2, Dumagami, and then around, and they're still finding more. So when you have that environment, the point is you need to persist and do systematic exploration. So if I go back to Ligneris, that's exactly what we intend to do there, not only in the main area, but all across the belt. So you can see that we got 36 kilometers of strike length around that favorable horizon. And in that case, it's not about can we demonstrate that there's fertility. We know there is. It's just about finding additional, exploring more at depth and laterally. So that's what we are on the course of doing. Expect some results probably by February. The initial program is 20,000 meters, and of course we'll have the capacity to increase it. We have a pretty strong balance sheet, 41 million cash and investment. This year's budget is around 15 million. So we should end up the year between 25 and 28 million, roughly. So we're in a good spot. So that's one of the catalysts, a strong catalyst we'll have this year. The second one is on the Belter. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. We gave it a real good shot last year. We were drilling underneath that former asset that produced 750,000 ounces at 10.7 gram. It didn't pan out. The thickness were not there. We move on. So right now what we're doing, we're testing those regional targets that I'll show you on this map here. So we're addressing those targets. We should finish probably by Q1 of this year. And depending on the results, we'll either move on or we'll stick to whatever we'll find. So that's also a catalyst for this year. And finally, the third catalyst that we have this year is we'll actively looking to add on to the portfolio. We're looking at gold assets at a district scale. So expect Vior to announce something in the first quarter as well. So we'll be quite aggressive. It's a simple story. We fully funded. We have a strong technical team that has been discovering world-class assets already in Quebec. And yeah, we're ready to go. So stay tuned. And I guess my 10 minutes is out. Thank you.